Nope. Nope. Oh, that's a bad crash. Yeah, it's getting crazy. All right, welcome back. So today we are still on the Mojave and it's still on the bench. I actually didn't plan on doing any more repair videos on this. I was planning on running today, but I'm going to insert a couple of pictures when I went ahead and pulled the front diff apart. I had a couple of things going on. At one point there was an impact in this corner that caused some chassis damage. Not only that, we had a bent pin. Not only that, when I had the shocks off of it, to pull out the diff, I had this wheel was up here and this wheel was sagging down, and that's because the chassis was bent over. Not only bent, twisted over, it was smashed up in the pin area. So I had to strip the whole chassis down, straighten the chassis out, and put it all back together last night. On top of that, this piece in here with the hinge pin block, I didn't have an extra one for a Mojave. I had some limitless ones, but they might work, but this has got the 3 holes on the bottom for the bumper where this pin does not. So I had to straighten all this stuff out as well, best I could, to get it in. And then I set up my droop screws, and that was another thing. The droop screw ears were all in different spots, so I had to straighten that out as well. With all that said, I've got it back together, and now I've got the steering disconnected because I had to get to some screws for the bumper, but look how tight the steering is, which is a problem. Remember I was telling you it would either go right or go left, like I couldn't set trims properly, so we put it on the new radio, and I was still having an issue with the steering. So we have one of these pivot balls that are bound up a little bit, so I got to get that fixed as well. And that's what I'm going to work on now, and that's why I'm turning on the camera. I had about 8 hours of work into this thing yesterday, and I'm finishing it up today, hoping to get out tomorrow now. So that's the inner, which I don't need that. I need the outer pivot ball, one more up. There we go. So I'm going to try to figure out, it was this upper was just a little too tight. I've got grease out, I've got all kinds of stuff out right now. God, that's still tight somewhere. There we go. The steering just can't be that tight. There we go. That's better. Much better. And that's definitely going to help. So, this thing has had so many crashes that I'm shocked it's made it this far without me going through the whole thing. Remember, this was a basher. Before it was, you can see I even had trouble with that one. I'm going to have to drill that out. That screw wasn't even in there. So I got to get these two screws in, put the bottom in, and then I'm going to bolt up the foams because I haven't had time to glue the knobby wheels. So I'm going to glue those now. They'll sit overnight, but I'm going to set this up on foams. It's basically, I'm starting over with the whole setup. The other thing I did was I put a spool in the center and I changed the center spur gear. So I did gear up a little bit, which we'll go tight on it and see if I can show you. I'm not going to give up the gear ratio in this video just because I don't know if it's going to work. But if it runs good, then I'll gladly tell you guys what spur is in there. It was the spool that was out of my Thunder truck. Since that truck is missing pretty much all the electronics, well, the motor now, ESC's still in there. Since it's missing that, I figured grab the spool because I could use it on this. I want to try locking it up since I have the diff set up pretty well, and I'm going to add more weight to the front of this thing for wheelie purposes. So I am going to throw some weight up here on the bumper. So I'm going to go ahead and get this bolted down. We'll be right back. Alright, so now I'm going to set the steering straight because I took it off with the steering wheel straight. I'll get that screw put back in. So hopefully I found my steering issue. I definitely found the drift issue with the chassis being bent and the wheels, the droop, all messed up from one of the crashes. Now I don't know if it was the crashes before the park runs or what, but now you can see that the front diff much tighter, and I use 60 weight front, 60 weight rear on the diff fluid. Now I got to get the screws that I temporarily put in here. So those front screws have got to go in first, and then we can cover it up with the bumper. I think this thing has needed a rebuild for a while now. A complete chassis off, go through everything like I did yesterday. Just because It took a beating before I decided to make it a street car. And you know how, well, not a street car, a speed car. When it comes to speed, everything's got to be, you know, pretty dead on. Not only that, but off-road is a little forgiving. And that's why I straighten the chassis rather than replacing it. There we go. So much weight on the front. This front bumper is taking a beating right in here. Try to cut some of this rough stuff off. So it's not catching the grass. Alright, let's check the droop. This one's still a little lower. There we go. And then I got to check the alignment. So let me grab the foam tires. We'll be right back. Now I want to check my rear droop before I put tires on. Rear is dead on. Front is perfect. All right. Let's get some wheels on. Some BSR foams. I don't know how well they're going to do in the grass. I try to make all my adjustments with the battery in. Batteries, plural. Why do I have 2 more screws? Oh, because I still haven't put on the wheelie bar. I still got to fix the wheelie bar. You guys can see it cracked and it's all wavy. This is supposed to be a straight deal. It's not supposed to be wavy like this. And I gotta weld this up a little bit. So I still got that to do. But I got stuck on this chassis. That's good. We got rebound again. It's traveling back up. Now it's going to be under acceleration. So I've got the droop pretty high up right now. I'm probably going to lower the droop a little, maybe. I'm thinking I might just run it at this height for now. I don't think it's going to catch air, but it definitely, I don't want it wheeling. So I am going to add some more wheel weights to the front of this. And then I noticed that my body mounts, this one's tilted forward. I keep gluing this, but it still keeps ripping. So it looks like my front shock tower is a little back as well. It's a lot back. Let me grab a hammer. Probably why it broke right here. I think I'm gonna have to take off that front shock tower, which sucks because I just put the bumper on. Thought I caught everything. I mean, it's pretty close right now. I might just roll with it. Yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it on this one. Next time I pull apart the front, I'm gonna take this shock tower off and straighten it. The back one's straight. The front one's just a little kicked back, which it's right above the hinge pin is where it's bent, but that could be creating an upper control arm issue. Everything was bound up in the front, so if you remember, we had no front travel. Rear was fine, but we had no rebound on the front, and now everything's free. Even our steering is free, so we should be able to hold center now without it locking up. But I wanted to give an update on this. Definitely wanted to, keep you guys informed. I know today should have been a running video, but I'm working as fast as I can. I had to tear down the whole chassis, which is a lot of work because the front part of this chassis was twisted. So this side was up, this side was down, and I think that was related. A few videos back, we were putting the body on and it was sagging to one side, and I kept compensating through the droop screws, and I got it sitting right again, but hinge pins were bent, all kinds of stuff was bent up here. So I've been running it that way for a little while with a bunch of bent stuff in the front of it, and now I'm a spool in the center. We are a smaller spur gear, and I'll just tell you guys it's somewhere around the 40s. It had a 46, one of these 46 with 50 weight in it in the center. Now it's a spool with somewhere around a 40 tooth. I'll give you the exact tooth when we go ahead and run it and make sure that everything's okay. So I've added more speed, I've straightened out the suspension. We are going to try it on foams, and we are going to be running on grass on foams, and we'll see if they hold. The foams are not shaved down, so hopefully they don't just start chunking in the grass. But I am going to glue these things up today one more time, bring them with me in case the foams just don't work. I can at least throw these tires on. But there's the update for today. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Nope. Ooh, that's a bad crash.